How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running 3 major sales right now. We've got the Games Under $20 sale, the Planet of the Discount sale, as well as the Big in Japan sale. I'm going to look at games under the price of $10 in this video, primarily with the Big in Japan sale. However, there are a couple of deals from the Games Under $20 sale that do fall under the $10 category. Some of the games probably are better fit for the Big in Japan sale, but nevertheless. But let's get into this with some of the best deals under $10, and we'll quickly go through the deals outside of the Big in Japan sale. Remember, these are ending relatively soon on March the 3rd. Alright, first up we have BioShock the Collection, 80% off for $9.99. It's BioShock 2, BioShock 1, and BioShock Infinite. I have no idea why I went in that order, but nevertheless, BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite. Infinite is my favorite of the 3 games, but all 3 of them are very good. I was very into BioShock Infinite's change of scenery and its change of design choices from a presentation standpoint. I thought that was fantastic. Narratively, all 3 games are strong. Not like each of the games are insanely lengthy, but they get in, tell a great story, get into some fantastic gameplay, and then get out. They don't overstay their welcome, and again, they're all very good. $9.99 for all 3 is a great buy. Next up, we have Watch Dogs 2, which is 80% off for $9.99. I know Watch Dogs these days gets memed on pretty strongly. Watch Dogs Legion wasn't everyone's favorite game in the world, and Watch Dogs 1, when the anticipation was at its apex, really didn't deliver. However, Watch Dogs 2, in many regards, was to Assassin's Creed what Assassin's Creed 2 was. And Assassin's Creed 2, everyone loved, in the sense that it was a much improved game in just about every area from the original. Watch Dogs 2 never received that type of love. However, the game itself still holds up as a very good open world title with a lot of content, an enjoyable story, and solid gameplay all around. It's an engaging title. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's pretty darn good. There is a trial available for free, so go check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, the $9.99 price tag is also quite good. From one open world game to another, Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition is 50% off for $9.99. Now, I imagine the majority of you guys already own this, but if you don't, great time to check it out, especially if you have a PlayStation 5. The 60 frames per second patch on this is fantastic. Maybe you jumped right into Forbidden West, which I would highly not recommend. You should definitely play Zero Dawn before you play Forbidden West, because the narrative is incredibly strong in both games. Forbidden West, some people aren't as hot about, but I thought Zero Dawn had a fantastic narrative, as did Forbidden West, but they connect together, and Zero Dawn is just a great game. Sure, visually it's not as good as Forbidden West, but the content is still great, the story is good, the cast of characters is strong. Yeah, just overall a very good game, and the Frozen Wilds expansion, many would consider that even better than the base game, so $10 for Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, great buy here. Now, moving on, these deals are a part of the Games Under $20 sale, but could fit in the Big in Japan sale as well. So, we got some JRPGs here. Rogue Galaxy is 50% off for $7.49. This was a great JRPG by Level 5, a studio that, you know, isn't much in the scene right now, but Rogue Galaxy was a fantastic game with a great art style that held up really well. Very lengthy game as well, solid gameplay, battle system was good. Story, I didn't find to be blow away, but again, I think the visual style is excellent, and from a gameplay standpoint, pretty solid as well. $7.49, a good pickup here. Next up, we have Tales of Zestiria, which is 85% off for $8.99. I'm pretty vocal about the fact that this is one of my least favorite Tales of titles. However, the Tales of games are so consistent in terms of quality that even being a little bit lesser than the other titles, Zestiria is still pretty good. From a gameplay standpoint, it's still strong. The visuals are nice. The opening is great. I'll give a shout out to the opening track. Some of the story decisions really left a lot to be desired, and really it happened towards the latter stages of the game. Just really kind of took the wind out of its sails from a narrative standpoint. However, it's still a fairly good JRPG. I wouldn't say make this your first Tales of title, but if you've played a lot of the others and you've been holding out on Zestiria, still give it a shot. At $9, it's a good buy. Next up, let's go to a different Tales of game. This one is directly in the Big in Japan sale. Tales of Berseria is 50% off for $9.99. This is a fantastic Tales of game. One of the more compelling main characters out of all of the Tales of titles in Velvet, a little bit of a darker tone in terms of her narrative and backstory as well. Just a very good game. A solid cast of characters outside of Velvet as well, but she's definitely the star of the cast here, and the story in its entirety is fairly good. Gameplay is solid, you know, relatively linear JRPG. There is additional content you can do, but overall it's a fairly good game. 50% off for $9.99 I think is quite a good deal. Next up, we have OKAMI HD, 50% off for $9.99. Go buy OKAMI HD so you can support my desire to get an OKAMI 2 one day. No, but seriously, OKAMI is a fantastic game from the PS2 era. It was one of the best games on the PS2. If you look up, like, you know, top 25, top 50 PS2 games of all time, OKAMI is usually within the top 5 or 10, and maybe even the first place to a lot of people as far as the best PS2 titles. It's just fantastic, has a little bit of Legend of Zelda in it. Fantastic art style that has aged incredibly well, and of course, with this one getting an HD uplift, makes it even better. At $9.99, I would strongly recommend this game. And Capcom, come on! You've been doing so much great things recently. OKAMI 2 would be tremendous to have. Next up, we have .hack GU Last Recode for $7.99. This is the entire .hack GU story. You got all 3 episodes, a 4th smaller episode, and you do get some refinements with this collection. At $8, it is a bargain, given that whenever I look at this collection, I remember the days in 2005, 2006, where you had to drop $40 or $50 a pop on the .hack games, and you had to buy all of them separately, and they all kind of told the same story, and I don't even think, like, the release dates from each one were that far apart, but you had to keep paying the 40 bucks. Yeah, it killed your wallet if you were into .hack. However, this entire story is very compelling. You have a deep cast of characters here. Haseo is a compelling main character that goes through some development, also voiced by the same person that voices Sasuke from Naruto. Found that rather interesting, and I noticed that immediately. Again, you have a solid roster of characters as well. A lot of them have a good amount of depth, good soundtrack as well. Some of the environments and places you go get a little bit redundant. Gameplay gets a little bit redundant at times as well, but overall, for the amount of content you get for $8, an excellent buy here. Next up, another Capcom HD remaster. We have Onimusha Warlords, 60% off for $7.99. You know, this game definitely shows its age. It's a action title that I really enjoyed back in the day. Warlords definitely took me back, and, you know, I had some nostalgia to it, so I enjoyed it quite a bit. However, it definitely shows its age. However, if you want a throwback PS2 style action title, it's still worthwhile to play through for $8. I think it's a good buy. Just don't expect anything completely blow away here. However, if Capcom went back and did an Onimusha 4 and, you know, built it up ground up for the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series PC, whatever the case may be, I think that could be tremendous. In this fairly good action game, $8, it's a solid pickup. Next up, Valkyria Chronicles 4 is $8.99. If you're a Plus subscriber, $11.99 for non-Plus subscribers. Valkyria Chronicles 4 is awesome. Yes, it doesn't reinvent the wheel from the original Valkyria Chronicles, but you don't need to, because the game was already pretty strong. Valkyria Chronicles 4 adds in an easy mode, so if you want an easier experience, you'll have that with VC4. Great cast of characters, fantastic story. You know, it's a wartime story that anybody can really find relatively engaging. You know, you have heartfelt moments, you have a little bit of comedy here and there to break up, you know, the war-torn society that is in Valkyria Chronicles. But yeah, very good game. I'm not big into tactics games, but I enjoyed Valkyria Chronicles quite a bit. And again, if you want to breeze through it, you can play it at the easier difficulty, and it'll be relatively easy for you to go through if you just want to experience, you know, the story and get engrossed into that. You know, the art style is fantastic as well. Beautiful watercolor art style here, and good cast of characters as well. So $9, definitely a good pickup. Next up, we have Zone of the Enders, the second runner, Mars, 75% off for $7.49. Man, I just want another Zone of the Enders as well. Maybe I just use these deals videos as a way to recommend these older games, so one day we can get a sequel on all these games. But Zone of the Enders is a mecha action title with a pretty interesting story that's a bit over the top, but hey, that's kind of to be expected with a game like this. Mecha action title, you know, back when it came out, it was a bigger budget title. Obviously now, going back and playing it, it holds up decently well. There is a VR component to the game as well, and this is just Zone of the Enders 2. They had a Zone of the Enders collection on PlayStation 3. Unfortunately, we never got the first title as well remade like this, but this holds up decently well, and if you want a mecha action title for $7.49, I think this is a pretty good buy. Next up, definitely want to give this a mention. A Psycho Pass Mandatory Happiness, 80% off for $5.99. I believe this was a PlayStation Plus game like years and years ago. If you guys don't know, Psycho Pass is a futuristic cyberpunk anime that was just very, very compelling. I would highly recommend you to go watch it if you haven't. Even if you're not the biggest fan of anime, I think any Western audience can get super into it. It has a great setting, great themes, and really does tackle some mature subjects. Mandatory Happiness is more of a visual novel that gives you more of an insight into the lore and the world of Psycho-Pass. It's not really essential to the whole universe, but it's a fairly good game, and if you watch the anime and you really like it, I would recommend Mandatory Happiness. I wouldn't jump into it without watching the anime, but watch the anime, and if you really do enjoy it, this might be something worthwhile to check out at $6. I think it's fairly good. And lastly, pretty easy recommendation here, Bloodborne is $7.99 if you're a Plus subscriber, $9.99 for non-Plus subscribers. Bloodborne is excellent, my favorite game that From Software has put out. Visually, it's excellent. Obviously, the one harp on the game is from a performance standpoint. Ideally, you do want to start playing these games at well above 30 frames per second, and this one does get pretty chuggy at times, so that's unfortunate, but I think the setting is so great. I think the aesthetics are tremendous. The darker tone to the game is great. Fantastic boss fights as well. If you don't want to drop the 60 on Elden Ring right now, dropping $8 on Bloodborne, hell yeah, that's a fantastic buy. And that is gonna do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals going on right now. Remember, the Planet of the Discounts and the Games Under $20 sale are ending this coming Wednesday, I believe. Would imagine a major sale would take those two sales' place. Big in Japan is gonna last until next week, so quite a bit of time. I believe March the 10th. Yeah, so March 10th, got quite a bit of time for that. But that's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.